and other one is going to be x is congruent to 1 mod 6, and finally one more is there, x is congruent to 0 mod 7. This is the main thing they were given to us. So here you need to be write it down. This is a congruent this is congruent. Don't do it, please. Right? This is you need to be right here, congruent to. This is congruent, and this is the congruent symbol, and here also this is the congruent symbol, and this is also congruent symbol. So in this problem, what we discussed, okay, in the last class, all elements should be relatively prime. All elements should be relatively prime. If you want to solve this particular problem, you should not consider few things. You need not to consider this one, and you need required to omit these two values. Omit these two values. That means, okay, for the last, okay, you need to be right. What you need to be right? This one, x is congruent to 1 of mod 3, then x is congruent to 1 of mod 4, and x is congruent to 1 of mod 5, and x is congruent to 0 of mod 7. So from this, what we can assume from this, we can assume the given number is an odd number. The resultant value is an odd number. So you minimize the given remainder values like this and try to solve this problem. Here you have to choose any two. 3 to 4, these two numbers are relatively prime, and 4 to 5 relatively prime, 3 to 7 relatively prime, so and so on. So why I have omitted 6? Due to 3. Why I have omitted 2? Due to 4. Right, like that. So that you can use this and try to solve this with help of Chinese remainder. So now what is the step you need to be performed here? You need to compute capital M. Capital M is equal to 3 multiply 4 multiply 5 and multiply 7. Right, this is equal to 420. Now you compute capital M1, capital M2, capital M3 and capital M4. So what is the capital, okay, M3, 420 by 3? That is going to be 140. So same way here, compute this M2, and this is going to be 105. And next you may compute this one. This is going to be 84. And M4 is going to be compute. What is the M4 value? That is going to be 60. So now what we need to be find next? We need to be find Y1, Y2, Y3 and Y4 values we need to be find. So you need to be find Y1, Y2 and Y3 values. Right. So if you may find what you need to be write, 140 inverse mod 3. 140 inverse mod 3. You need to be write it down. What is that value? 140. 140 means how many times it is going to be? So the remainder is 2. So you need to be find 2 inverse mod 3 only. So 2 inverse mod 3 means 2 2s are 4. That's why the inverse value is 2 here. So y1 value is going to be 2. The same way you need to be find all the values. Here okay, y2 value will come, I think 1. And here y3 value is going to be 84 mod 5. 4. It is going to be 4. That I told you already. You have a finite field. Suppose we are using a modular of 5. Suppose 4 inverse, okay, you want to find, that is going to be 4 only. Why? Because 4 into 4, 16. 16 of mod 5 is going to be equal to 1 of mod 5 only. So that's a 4. And here, okay, 60 inverse. 60 inverse means what? 56. The 4 inverse. 4 inverse we need to be fine. 4 inverse means okay, 2 into 4, 8. 8 means okay. That means here okay, this is going to be here 2 is the multiplicative inverse value. 2 is the multiplicative inverse value. Clear? So these are the values which we find. And finally we need to be find the x value. X value is equal to how we are finding? This is going to be congruent to you apply the summation, the formula all. That means you need to be write it down. 1, 140 and 2. 1, 140 and 2. This is a one set plus the next one and so on. You need to be write it down. Plus last one is what? 0 multiply something means it is 0 only. So finally what value will get here? You may solve. So here what we will get, okay, 2 into 280 plus here 1 into 105 plus 4 into 84. That is going to be 336. Total milk and last one is going to be 0. So this is going to be around 721 of mod 420. 420. So what is the final remainder value here? The remainder value is going to be 301. So 301. The number is 301x. The number is 301x. Okay. So say if suppose why? Because this particular problem doesn't have a single solution. It has a multiple solutions. If suppose I may omit 2, instead of omitting 2, I may omit 4. Then the answer is going to be changed. Then the answer is going to be changed. Right? So you have to keep in the mind. This is a very wonderful problem to understand chain is remainder theorem. Is it fine? All of you done, I think. How many of you solved the problem? Please let me know. 301. Very good, Priyansh. Pranshu and Vaibhav and Akash. So they shared their answers. Good. Keshav also. Nice. So now I would like to move to discuss very interesting and very important algorithm and start. There are a couple of algorithms out there. We are going to be study under this particular concept, public key cryptography. And very fundamental algorithm is going to be RSA algorithm. And it's a pretty good, pretty good algorithm and very interesting algorithm also. Right. I can share one. Yeah. So now, we move to discuss about RSA algorithm. So there are three mathematicians, RSA, Rivest, Shamir, and Adel. These three were designed this particular algorithm. So in this algorithm, first, beforehand, what we required? Beforehand, what we need to be chosen? We require to choose any two prime numbers, two large prime numbers. That are P and Q. That are P and Q. This is the beforehand. That means if before you are going to be run this particular algorithm, you require to use these, you require to generate these two. That's why we discussed Miller-Robin algorithm. That's why we discussed Miller-Robin algorithm. Miller-Robin algorithm is useful to you to find the largest prime numbers. Largest prime numbers. Okay. So now the point here I want to say to you, you need to be verified. The prime number length of the prime numbers are going to be similar. Similar means whatever the length you might be choosing, that would be either greater than or equal to 104 according to the right now. Right now we are using this is. Let's suppose you may ask a question. Let's suppose we may choose just 64-bit prime number. What is going to happen? The factorization is possible. Such a kind of computational power is there, and there are 20 different attacks are possible. That means there are different type of attacks are there on this particular RSA algorithm. In a practical way, none of the algorithm is succeeded. None of the algorithms succeeded on this. Why? Whenever you have a computation, whenever you want to raise a computational power, whenever you are going to raise computational, that means whenever you are going to raise your length of prime numbers, the major advantage here in this, the factorization only. That's why no one is not going to be crack your algorithm. Now, you might be heard blockchain technology. How Indian government also plan to launch a cryptocurrency. Plan to launch cryptocurrency. Where is the backbone of this blockchain technology? There are two major concepts. One is going to be public key cryptography. Other one is going to be cryptography hash function. Keep in mind, in the public key cryptography, whatever we are studying algorithms, all these algorithms are coming under the public key cryptography. Very beginning, why we started RSA algorithm, this is a very standard and that means the wonderful algorithm to learn actually and to understand. Right? That's right. The first we need to be keep few things in our mind. That is going to be before you need to be use this algorithm. Choose two prime numbers. The length should be more than 1024 bit. Right. The second point, you should compute. We should compute n equal to PQ. You should compute n equal to pq. You have to compute like this. This is the step one. I can write here. This is going to be step one. Okay. Step one. And in the step two, I have to compute what I need to be compute. I need to be compute pi of n. So here I need to be compute pi of n. So this is okay according to your Euler's theorem. We discussed Euler's theorem in our class. In Euler theorem, what we said, any integer value is there, positive integer value. We represent how many relatively prime numbers are there inside that Zn. That we represent with help of pi of n. Pi of n means number of relatively prime numbers are there. So here, how many relatively prime numbers are there? Very easy to find. That you need to be right. Pi of p multiply pi of q. Pi of q. So which is equal to p minus 1 into q minus 1. Q minus 1. So here, okay, I'm sorry, I'm using here, okay, big numbers. This is not the correct notation. You have to use a small number, these two. Right? In mathematics, capital letters we supposed to be used for what? N equal to sets only. Okay, that's fine. Here this is also small n. Right. Here this is also small p and this is a small q. Keep it in that. This is also small p and this is also small q. Keep it. Huh? So now another point we need to be, okay, third point is going to be choose any number, okay, that is going to be, call it as a e. Choose any number e from pi of z pi of n. I can write like this. I can write z pi of n. That means this e is belongs to this one, z pi of n. E is belongs to, choose, e is belongs to z and that e should be satisfy a condition. That condition is going to be GCD of e comma pi of n, which is equal to 1. Why we need to be use this particular statement? Why we are using this particular statement, GCD of e comma pi of n? Anybody can answer? I can see in this chat box. Oh, some people might not have this. Okay. Link. This is the link you need to be used. Again, I'm forwarded. Use this link, right? So I'm going. So we are here now. Are you getting why we are using this one? Anybody answer for me? No, this is not. Whenever GCD of e comma pi of n is equal to 1 means that e and pi of n value both are relatively prime numbers. If these two are relatively prime numbers, then multiplicative inverse value is existed so that you can generate the private key. Why? Because this E, whichever we choose in right now, that we call it as a public key. You understand now why we are okay writing this one? The next one we need to be go. The fourth one is very interesting. Fourth one, again you need to be compute. How you are going to be compute? You have to compute like this. Your E multiply with some D. Here you need to use multiplication symbol, which is congruent to 1 of mod pi of n. Mod pi of n. You have to use this formula. So likewise, you need to be find okay D value. So here what okay we receive D value, and D is also belongs to, and the same time D is also belongs to Z pi of n only. Z pi of n only. Are you okay with this? The finally you need to be declare the final statement. Okay, publicize. So that means you need to be compute public key parameters are, what are the public key parameters? We have n and we have e. So these two are our public key parameters. These two are our public key parameters. Right. What are our secret key parameters? Secret key parameters. Our secret key parameters are your P, comma, your Q, comma, D. These are all okay secret key parameters. So generally I will write in all the discussions public key as a PK and secret key as a SK. Generally I will write like that. Okay. Now what I told you before this, every public key cryptography maintains 3 algorithms. One is the key generation algorithm. Key generation algorithm is required. P and Q are the inputs. Q are the inputs. Okay. This one. This is the key generation algorithm. Okay. Next, another algorithm is there. This is the first algorithm. So another algorithm is there here, that is going to be our encryption algorithm. So encryption algorithm is required what? Encryption algorithm required, you required M and you required a key. M and key. Bus enough, nothing. Nothing you require. So this is the second algorithm. How we will write here? The equation that is going to be here, you need to be choose here, and this is the one algorithm, and this is another algorithm. Here you choose any particular message M, which is belongs to Zn, which is belongs to Zn. Then you can write encryption algorithm as like this. You have to compute your ciphertext. The ciphertext is going to be equal to m to the power e of mod n of mod n. And one more algorithm we have, that is decryption algorithm. So decryption algorithm, what are required? One is the C and other one is required D and N are the inputs are required. So that how we look at the decryption function is going to be function that you need to be check in this. What you need to do? This is a small c, you can say this is also small c. So here this is going to be equal to c to the power d of mod n, which is equal to your message m. So these are the three algorithms you need to know to understand about RSA algorithm. So now, any questions based on this algorithm you have? Any questions are there? Any ambiguity is there? Very clear, simple mathematics. But today everybody using these algorithms. So while they are doing some secure, while they are maintaining any secure communication. Without this protocol, we can't run anything. Okay. So now my point is, very interesting topic this is. How to check the correctness of this algorithm. How to check the correctness of this algorithm. You have to check correctness. How to check correctness of this algorithm. So that means we need to choose this decryption value and try to solve it, try to prove it. We are going to be, now we are checking the correctness of this algorithm. Suppose what is in my left hand side, on right hand side. Okay, you need to be checked. This is m is equal to c to the power d of mod n. Correct? So how we will check this one, whether this is equal to this one, we need to be checked. So we need to be start one step. In this one step, what we need to be write? First, this m is equal to, you have to write c to the power d. But what is the c? See how we generated m to the power e. So you need to be write here m to the power e whole to the power d of mod. So what is there here? Mod n. But n, how we computed? N is equal to pq. So instead of mod n, I may supposed to be write pq. No issue. No issue for that. Right? You can write like this. The second step in this is going to be, this is look like e to the power d. That means you come to this particular equation. Come to this particular equation. How we can rewrite this one? Can we rewrite this one? Yes, we can rewrite this one. How we will rewrite? We can rewrite ed is equal to 1 plus some k into pi of pq. We can write like this, no problem at all for that. Why? Because pi of n, that means n is equal to pq. So pi of n means pi of pq only. We can write this one, no issue for that. So I may substitute this one. Over here instead of m to the power ed. So I can write m to the power 1 plus k into pi of pq. I am writing it. And of mod p and q. Clear? So now I am writing here in another I am splitting this into two. You know that a simple mathematical equation. This is m to the power 1 of mod pq. There is no issue for this one. We can write m to the power 1 of mod pq means this is equal to m only. But where the problem is, the rest of the equation only we try to solve that one. Rest of the equation only we try to solve that one. What is there here? Here 1 plus k into some pi of pq. So I am rewriting this one. You assume how I am rewriting, just you check it out. This m to the power this m to the power p minus 1 of mod p of whole to the power q minus 1 of mod q whole to the power k. So can I write like this now? No problem for that. But you observe this one. I can change my color. Here, observe this one. This is equal to 1. Why this is equal to 1? We use Little Fermat's theorem. So what Little Fermat's theorem is stating? M to the power, some a to the power p minus 1, which is equal to 1 of mod p only. 1 of mod p only. The same here, m to the power p minus 1 of mod p is there here. Mod p is there. Okay. So this is okay. This particular equation you need to be okay. This one only you need to be check it here. What we written here? M to the power p minus 1 of mod p is there. So which is equal to 1 of mod p. This we know. So that means okay, this is equal to 1 only. So the finally this one is going to be 1. If this is going to be 1 to the power q minus 1 of mod q, 1 to the power k, 1 only. That's why in the next step we can write this is m and this whole equation is equal to 1, this is equal to m, this is equal to m. So m into 1, m only. So the correctness of algorithm is checked. The correctness of the algorithm is checked. Any questions are there for you? Anybody has some doubts on this particular proof? You can share in the chat box if you have some doubts. Okay, now we try to solve some problem. Okay, try to solve some problems based on this algorithm. I'm thinking most of you understand this algorithm, so that we try to solve few problems on this particular. Why? Because this is the most interesting and important algorithm for you. You try to solve some problems in this. Just I am providing one problem to you. You try to solve the problem I am providing here. The first problem, this is P equal to 11 and Q equal to 23 and I am providing some of the values to you here. E equal to 13 and your M equal to 100. Solve the problem with help of RSA algorithm. Post your answer on the chat box so that I will see how many of you are completing the problem. I'm able to see that. Anybody solved the problem? This one? So can you share your answer in the chat box? So another question is supposed to be right here. Another question. The second question. You intercept the ciphertext C equal to 10 sent to a user whose public key is E equal to 5 and n equal to 35. So what is the plain text? What is the plain text? What is the plain text? This problem also try to solve. Anyone got the answer for the first question? Can you share in the task? Okay, here. I'm sorry. No one not said? No one solved? D equal to 17. Okay. Yes, D equal to 17, correct? So you might be facing some problem to find to the power values, na? There is a difficulty to find power. Sometimes you have a power. So finding the easiest solution to solve that is, suppose what you need to be right here in the first question is supposed to be right 100 to the power 13. 100 to the power 13 mod 253. So there only you might be face the problem generally. Generally, what we will do in this particular, okay, 1 minute, welcome back. So 17 you got, very good, nice. So many of you saw, very good. Very nice. So next point, mine is so what is the final value you got it for this one? What is the ciphertext value you got? What is the ciphertext value? 133. Very good, Pranshu and Rishabh. So I will give a small example to how to solve this kind of problems. Generally, with one example, I will try to explain to you. Suppose I have some x to the power, I can say what I can say. Suppose 10 to the power, some 7 is there of mod 7. Suppose like this is there. Suppose 17 is also there. You can, no issue. First you write it down, 10 mod 7, which is equal to 3. Then what about 10 square mod 7? Again, this is going to be equal to 3 into 3 of mod 7. That means this is equal to 2. Then you have to go for 10 to the power 4. 10 to the power 4 means 2 into 2, 4. 4 mod 7 only. Then 10 to the power 5. 10 square is 2, 10 square is 2. And one more 10 square, that means 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6 mod 7 is equal to 8. 8 means 2 into 2 into 2, 8 of mod 7, that is going to be 1. So finally here 1 of mod 7. So to the power 6 means 7 means, what is the next value is going to be 1? 10 to the power 12 is also going to be the same, 1 only. You need not to worry about that. And next, 10 to the power 4, you know. What is the 10 to the power 4 value? 4 only. Next, 10 is there. That is going to be 3 only. So total is going to be, I think it is going to be 5 mod 7. Which is equal. That means any big number is there, you have to be solved like this. So this is the easiest method to solve this one. Okay. So try to solve second one. Now, I want to do one small work here. I want to explain something to you. What is the problem in this particular? What is the insecurity in RSA algorithm? We should understand. So there are a couple of algorithms are there, and as well as in this RSA algorithm also some attacks are possible on this. There is a 20 years attacks on RSA algorithm by Dan Boneh, a great cryptographer and scientist, Stanford professor, written an article. You see that article, you will get more information about that. You will get more information about that. Right. So now I'm talking about the insecurity of your RSA encrypted system. So we already discussed in the starting, there is a chosen plain text attack, chosen ciphertext attack. So mostly this particular RSA algorithm is very efficient algorithm against CPA attacks, chosen plain text attacks, right? And the plain text what we are chosen is less than n only. Whatever plain text we are chosen, that is less than n only. and the probability which we want to find at max root m only. So my simplest method to find the new ciphertext value, how I am going to be find. Suppose I am write C1 is equal to m1 to the power e of mod n and C2 is equal to m2 whole to the power e of mod n. If suppose I know C1, C2 values, can I generate C3 value or not? If C3 is going to be equal to C1 multiply C2, we can generate this one. We can generate this one. So why? This C3 is equal to M1 multiply M2 whole to the power E of mod n. E of mod n only. So that's why we can generate this one. This is the possible thing. This is a possible attack on your RSA algorithm. So there is a, suppose how a malice is going to be compute these values. The malice is going to be compute these values. We can see. Suppose what malice is going to be do. Suppose you have M1, M2 and so on. M1, M2 and so on. What is the typical length of this? This is going to be max L by 2 only. That I told you, na, square root of m n. So L by 2 only. So if suppose I may store a database with this length of bits, like the malice is going to be stored like this: 1 to the power e, comma 2 to the power e, and 3 to the power e, and so on, 2 to the power L by 2 whole to the power e of mod n. I can generate all the values. I can generate all the values. I may just to run a for loop. I just run a for loop over here from I equal to 1 to, or I equal to 1 to 2 to the power L by 2. 2 to the power L by 2. So I can generate, I can do this one. C divided by I to the power e, which is equal to j to the power e of mod n. Simply I can write this one, a small statement, and I can write this one, and I can compute what is I to the power e of mod n. So I and j values are there, so that you may multiply m is equal to ij. So how much database you required at max? How much database you required at max? The database which is required to you, that is going to be order of b, here to L by 2 log to the power 3 of n. This is this much of database is required to crack this. If suppose a simple way I can say here to you understand point of view, I may use RSA algorithm to encrypt DES key. The DES key typically 56 bits. 56 bits means what should supposed to be used? 2 to the power 28 only. It is less than 2 to the power 28 only. And I want to generate all the possibilities. How much database is required to me? 2 to the power 28 multiply your 1024 bit. 1024 bits, which is equal to 2 to the power 38. So at maximum, how many this much of okay storage is required for me? These many bits I need to be stored in my storage. So how much this is typically 32 gigabytes, not more than that. We can compute this one with the 2 to the power 29 modular operation, so that okay, we will get the result back. Whatever encrypted key is there, we can decrypt it and we can do it. Why? Because in online banking or internet banking, generally what we supposed to be do the same only. You have a public key algorithms in your browser is going to support some public key algorithms. Then and you have a password. You have internet banking password. Finally, with help of the public key cryptography, that bank's public key is available with us. That means your browser maintains the public key of the internet banks. Whatever the bank, SBI bank has its own public key, ICICI has its own public key, and so on. Let's suppose you have a public key, use that a public key and use any one of the algorithm like RS algorithm, LGML algorithm, elliptic curve cryptography algorithm, and so on. That you can check in your Wireshark. You are familiar with Wireshark. You go to SSL. There you will find which algorithm this used to encrypt your data. That's why in online banking, generally what we will find, once you enter password, while you are going for login button, there are number of bits are going to be more. Even though you are not submitted, before your submission, the computation public key is going to be encrypt the password and embedded in the login button, login page, embedded in the login page. So that's the beauty. And this kind of problem is there in this. This kind of problem is there on this RS algorithm. Still, okay, nobody cannot create any attack on RS algorithm, even though somebody suggested okay, one more algorithm that is going to be Robin algorithm. Robin algorithm, crypto system. RSA crypto system we discussed. This is going to be Robin crypto system. Robin crypto system. Okay. In this Robin crypto system, it's very this will protect from the CPA or CC attacks on RSA algorithm. But there is a difficulty to convey what is the correct message to the users. To convey that, there is a lot of problem is there. We'll see the algorithm, we will find that. So here also we have three algorithms. One is the key generation algorithm. Again, the key generation algorithm. What we need to choose? You have to choose two random prime numbers. Prime numbers that are P and Q. P and Q such that the length of the PQ, which is almost equal to length of the Q. Length of the Q. And the second step in this algorithm, the same way, what we need to do, compute n equal to PQ, and here what condition he was placed, we should satisfy one condition. That condition is going to be this one: P is congruent to Q, which is congruent to 3 of mod 4. 3 of mod 4. We called this one as, we call this kind of prime numbers are Blum integers. Blum integers. We call these are Blum integers. That you remember that. Anything is going to be satisfied like this, we call that as a Blum integer. Then in the third step, pick a random integer, random integer random integers b which is belongs to z n. Here, okay, there is a symbol. This indicates this particular elements are comes under cyclic group. This indicates okay, this is a cyclic group. From this cyclic group only you need to be select this particular b value. And the fourth one is very simple. You have to publicize n comma b as your public key and keep p comma q or as your secret key. So now second algorithm is what for us? That is encryption algorithm. How encryption algorithm is going to be placed? Simple. This is encryption algorithm. We have to choose m the same way, which is belongs to Zn star, right? Then C we have to compute like this, m into m plus b of mod n. This is the encryption. And decryption we have to perform decryption function. In the decryption function, what we need to do, you have to be compute m square plus bm minus c, which is congruent to 0 of mod n. 0 of mod n. So this is for m is less than n. M is less than n. Are you fine with this? But the problem there it is a it requires modulo square root algorithm to find the roots. Why? Because okay, it's you have to get, generally we will get a 2 roots, but here you will get okay 4 roots, 4 root values. Out of 4 root values, 1 root value is going to be the actual message. So how you are going to be convey that information to the others? Whatever attacks we discussed, the same attacks we can overcome from this Robin crypto system. But this Robin crypto system has its own drawback, that is, it is going to produce 4 plain text. Out of 4, 1 is going to be the correct plain text which was generated by the sender. So that's why you keep, okay, understand these algorithms. There is a big modulo arithmetic operation is there, the square root of modulo operation is there, you have to find out that. And you will get the result. Okay, tomorrow we will discuss on this. Next class we will solve a simple problem on this, right? On Robin paper system. And okay, another okay, public crypto algorithms are there. We will discuss in the next class. Right. Any questions from any one of you? I'm closing this one. Any questions are there with you? If you have questions right now, you may post the questions. Okay, then I can conclude this now, and I will share your exam within 5 minutes to you, so that okay, all of you solve the problems and update on this. Whatever we discussed in the number theory to this particular class, I will ask few questions. Try to solve and okay, upload your PDFs on that question paper actually, right? Shall I conduct or okay, next day I may conduct? One thing I will do, I will give you assignment to you for all. Okay, so hues, okay, we covered na. I will release one by one assignment for your midterm examination, so that you try to solve okay different type of problems. I will give a 3-4 okay assignments at a time. You try to solve and upload it on the Google, right? So I don't take quiz today. I will post some assignments today or tomorrow, if possible. Any questions are there? If you don't have any questions, say no, then I can close my session. Thank you.